Good afternoon. This video is a chess lesson. In this chess lesson, International Grandmaster will show you how to play, how to beat Scandinavian defense, how to get big advantage in Scandinavian defense with white pieces. So, Scandinavian defense arises after the next move order: e4, d5, e takes d5, and now e4, and now d5. The main idea of Scandinavian defense is to attack the center pawn. So Scandinavian defense, the same idea of this opening is like in Caro-Kann defense. So the idea is to solve the problem of this light square bishop. For instance, I will show you the main idea. And now c6, e6, and this is a very comfortable position. Black's plan is to finish the development: bishop e7, short castle, knight b to d7, and black has a very comfortable game. And but also the second idea, queen d5, is the first idea, and the second idea is to play knight f6 with the intention to take on d5 with knight. So this is some sort of pawn sacrifice, but I cannot recommend you to play c4, and my recommendation is just to ignore it and to play normal move d4. And now very important simple development of king side. So, and what you have to remember about this position, that h3 move with the intention to prevent bishop g4. So black has some problems how to find a good spot for this bishop. And now rook e1, knight d7. This is the second good idea. The idea is to stop e5 break. Rook e8, now c4, knight c7, and only now c4 and knight c3, and black has a very comfortable position and clear positional advantage. For instance, e5, d5, f6, bishop e3, 5, bishop g5, bishop f6, take, rook at d1. So all this happened in the game, in the old game between Efim Geller and Mariusz Radoslav. It was played in 1968, but I think that this game is still very useful to study if you don't know how to beat this stuff with knight f6. Okay, but of course more important to study the main line with queen to d5, and as you see here that it was played in the game of such strong grandmaster like Viktor Laznichka. So knight c3, queen to a5, and d4. And at first glance it seems like very horrible idea for black, because black spent a lot of time. This is a not good idea to develop the queen in the beginning of the game. First of all, you have to develop minor pieces like knight and bishops, and only then queen. But here the position is not so clear, because that with this maneuver black destroyed white center, and white has to play very energetically. Otherwise black finish the development and would get a very comfortable game. Okay, so knight f6, knight f3. I recommend you this move. First I thought that bishop c4 is better, but here I don't like bishop g4. I didn't understand, I didn't how to get advantage against this move. I think that more simple is knight to f3. Now in case of bishop g4 there is a h3 idea, and okay, after here c6, so g4, then long castle, then for example g4, g5, and white has a clear advantage. And in case of the more principal bishop h5, white has a good idea to play g4, bishop to g6, knight to e5, e6, and bishop to g2. Eventually this bishop is very unpleasant for black. In case of this h5, this is a typical idea for such type of positions. So this bishop is awkward position, and in case of this, white just simply takes here, and black has a terrible pawn structure and very weak light squares. So for this reason, knight b to d7, the only option. And now in case of h5, I think there is a knight to e5, but after take and h5, bishop e4, f3, bishop d5. Okay, and now but still this bishop on d5 is not in a good position. This is a good spot for this bishop, and also this king on d7 is vulnerable. And after queen e2, h6, bishop d2, queen c7, long castle, black has a very unpleasant position. White has an easy plan to play knight a4, c4 to attack this bishop and this king. Okay, and I cannot recommend this position for black's players. Bishop e5 is the strongest continuation. Now very important, bishop to d2. So here there is a breach, and black has a two moves, c6 and d6. And sometimes black started with e6, and then after bishop c4 transpose to c6 line. But usually after e6, black prefers bishop to b4. Yeah, the point that in case of c6, you have to remember this idea with white, knight to d5, very important move to attack this queen. The only option is queen to d8, and after knight to f6, usually black capture with g7 pawn. So after queen f6, this queen on f6 is vulnerable, but this is also playable continuation, and it was happened many times in the games of quite strong grandmasters. Okay, queen to e2, bishop to g4. Yeah, d5 was played in the game of Alexei Shirov, but here I recommend you just simple move short castle, knight to d7, and now d5. And okay, due to this queen position, okay, this is not winning position, but of course white is better. Yeah, but what about the main line, g takes f6? Here you have to remember the idea not to... Okay, I don't like... usually the black's plan here is to play knight to d7, then queen c7, and then long castle. And there are a lot of games in which white also opted for a long castle plan, but my recommendation is to go for short castle. So, okay, I will show you very good game. For example, bishop b3 was played in the game of Zbigniew Krachik, very strong grandmaster from Czech Republic. Knight to d7, queen to e2, queen to c7, knight to h4, bishop to g6, g3, long castle, short castle. Yeah, now very important short castle. So not to go for a long castle. Knight to b6, bishop to e4, bishop to d6. Yeah, and also very important idea not to take on g6. Yes, very. At first glance, it seems that white wants to take on g6, but no. The main idea is just to put pressure on this bishop, and it is very difficult for black to create some control play, because in case of h5, for example, so okay, for well here we can just simply take on g6 and then this pawn on e6, and in case of f5 with the intention to play for now knight to g2, very strong idea to block this pawn, and now this bishop on g6 is very bad. Okay, for instance, yeah, also good idea for white uh, to trade dark square bishops. Yeah, now knight to g2, very, and you see this bishop is very bad. Yeah, and now it's yeah, now we see this position that this bishop after knight e4, this knight is much stronger than this bishop. Yeah, this was played in the game, and black sacrifices pawn because white's idea is to play rook to d4, rook to e1, knight to e3, and black is in trouble. Okay, in the second game, knight to h4 was played, bishop to g6, and short castle was played in the okay, queen f3 was played in this game, queen h3. Yeah, the same idea to put pressure on this bishop. And now before, again, short castle and before. So very unpleasant. You see this bishop is on the king side, and white has a very good chances to create strong attack on the queen side, for instance. And again, yeah, we see that after e5, 5 is the only option for black. We see this bishop on g6 is very bad position. So, and finally after b5, white has a very strong attack. Okay, and now a few words about one of the main line, and instead of c6, bishop to b4. Now my recommendation is, I like this game of Sergei Fedorchuk. So yeah, a3 to get a bishop pair advantage, but the position is not so simple, and despite the fact that white has a bishop pair advantage, but the problem that these two bishops are very ridiculous, and you have to improve these bishops, and I like the plan which was played in this game. Sergei Fedorchuk played before knight e4. Yeah, knight e4 is not good move because bishop b2 is white's idea. Okay, bishop, and the second bishop e2, this is a much better place. Rook to 1, and now c4. I like this plan, and after this rook t1, c6, knight to h4 was played in the game, and you see that this bishop is trapped. White get a so white wants to get a bishop pair advantage. Bishop g6 was played in the game, queen to a4, knight to f6, bishop c3, and again very unpleasant. So white is not in a rush to take on g6, and so for black it is very unpleasant because so it is quite difficult for black to find a good square for for his bishops, and the game was played a4. b6 is okay, is not a good option because weakening black's position on the queen side. And now Sergei Fedorchuk decided to not to take on g6 and to find another plan to improve this knight with knight f3. Okay, c8, b5, c takes, a takes, a5, bishop to b2, queen to c7 was played in the game, and okay, white has a clear advantage. Sooner or later, white will play c5, and with a huge positional advantage. And finally, white won this game. So, hope this video will be helpful for you. Subscribe for the channel, and if you need another information, another material about Scandinavian defense, leave comments about it, and I try to create new videos about Scandinavian defense, how to beat this opening. So also I want to create a video about Alekhine defense,